Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Danielle,
And I'm Noel.
and this is another episode of Random Conversations. So, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Just came back from vacation, so my body's been trying to catch up.
I think, yeah,
But
both of us.
Yeah.
You had your family vacation. I had my little girls' trip in Barbados. Shout out to Barbados. It's a beautiful island. I recommend everybody travel there at least once in their life.
How much they paid you for that plug?
Nothing. I got my homies over there. I'm pretty sure they love that. I gave them a little quick shout out. But yeah, and your vacation was good?
Yeah, it was good. I can't complain. I mean, the kids enjoyed it a lot more than I did, but I got enjoyment out of it. My wife and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Well, when you bring kids on a vacation, you know it's up to you to make sure that they have more fun than you.
Oh, yeah. And they had a blast.
That's just how it goes.
They had a blast. They got to do whatever they wanted. They got to eat whatever they wanted. So coming back to Brooklyn, it was kind of adjustment.
Yeah.
My son, like, I could get a donut for breakfast. I'm like, no, you can't get a donut for breakfast. We're not on vacation no more.
Yeah.
It's back to reality.
Because I know when I take my son places, I have to make sure that he has more fun than me. And then my parents, when we used to go on family vacations, I know I had fun. I don't know if they did, but I know I did. So that's the whole, that's what it is when you bring children on vacation.
It's true.
But I wanted to get into Trump, right? You actually brought this up, but I think we saw it at the same time about him blocking construction of a new Washington Commanders stadium in, I believe, Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Because they won't change their name back to the Redskins. Which can you believe it? He's basically blackmailing the team.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it because it's pretty par for the course with this guy. What he's doing with Paramount, and now
I was gonna get into that.
And now
he's basically sticking every company out for their money. Like you say, one bad thing about him, I'm suing you. And guess what? They're paying them. Well, they're paying him in the White House.
Yeah, Paramount gave him like a $16 million settlement.
Yeah, and that whole, I can't really get into it, but that whole thing with Stephen Colbert, insane.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Colbert is gonna be all right.
Yeah, he will.
He'll find another gig,
or he'll go independent.
Yeah, it's just scary that the president has that kind of sway over these companies. You're starting to see that no matter how rich and powerful you are, people like to think, "Oh, I work for myself." Like, no, everybody's kind of like beholden to something or someone. And as you can see, these billionaires who are normally used to doing whatever they want to do, when they want to do it, and now you have the president sticking his nose in places where it shouldn't be,
yeah.
and dictating to them what they can and can't do. Look at Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet.
He lost a lot of money.
And he lost a lot of money dealing with Trump. And when he tried to get his backbone and go at Trump head to head, what happened? He ended up having to turn around with his head tucked between his tail.
Yeah, you haven't really heard about Elon in the last couple. Yeah, sorry to cut you off. You haven't really heard about Elon in the last couple of weeks, and why do you figure that?
I think he's done so much damage to his reputation. Right now, I think he just
if he tries to backpedal, it still won't be the same.
There's nothing that he can say, I think, at this point in time that's gonna do him any benefit. I think his silence, he's benefiting more from his silence than anything else, because he never really was someone who gave good sound bites anyway. He always sounded out of touch a little bit. So it's just, I'm pretty sure he had like publicists try to go over things with him to say and stuff like that, but he just seems like someone who's going to say what he wants to say when he wants to say it. And at this point in time, his companies don't need that. So he's probably been advised to, just be quiet.
Yeah, I think Elon was better off as like this type of mysterious person, because I always found him as mysterious before he started going on the campaign trails. Like, you heard a little bit about him, but you didn't know him outright. So it's best that he just stays in the background until, everybody's going to forget about it in like the next couple months. It's just best that he just stays in his little place until it's time to, poke your nose out again. But back to this Washington Commanders thing, if they change their name back to the Redskins, how do you feel? Like, I feel like the fan base is going to be like, so now you're letting the government come and control things? If I was a fan, I think I revert or go to another team and show fandom over there, because I can't support that.
I think the fans more so care about the merchandise that they bought that says Washington Commanders.
Well, at least they know it's going to be antiques.
or the fans who
it's
went
gonna
out
be
there,
an antique now.
or the fans who have all this Redskin paraphernalia who had to change over to the Commanders. I think that's what fans really care about. As long as the team is still accessible and they still have a team to root for, I think that's the most important thing, and that the team is viable. Yeah. But in terms of them changing the name, I think the real issue is the insensitivity concerning it. You know, I think we need to. I think there's a lot of people that is offended by it, but for the most part, the people that I've seen express their displeasure with the name Redskins has been the predominantly white people, right? I haven't really seen too many Native Americans come out and say that the name is disrespectful and they wanted it removed. I think
they did.
I think we need to hear it from them, from whatever association that they have. You know how, like, as blacks we have the NAACP and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure that they have their own organization. Coalition. Yeah, and I would like to hear from them, because honestly, if they're offended, that's all that matters, and we need to make sure that they feel comfortable. To me personally, I think that it's an offensive name. It's like I wouldn't want my hometown team to be called the New York Blackfaces, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. I wouldn't support that. And you don't see it like. And Trump was saying that by changing the name, you're disrespecting Indians. I was like, first of all, they're not Indians; they're Native Americans. The fool who came here, Christopher Columbus, thought he discovered India and called them Indians. So for you to call them Indians still in 2025 just shows a complete lack of
he's out of
empathy,
touch.
Care. He's out of touch. It just doesn't sit well with me that the leader of our country doesn't know that, and then it goes to the video that you shared with me, where it was 20 far right conservatives versus one progressive, where a lot of these far right conservatives consider themselves to be the descendants of Native Americans. Yeah. And so it's just it's fascinating to see seemingly intelligent people, seemingly intelligent people speak about the topic of Redskins and whether or not that name should be the name of a pro football team reinstated. That I'm like, is that really? I thought we were moving in a positive direction. And I heard he's trying
to do the same thing with the Cleveland Browns because
they're the Cleveland Guardians now.
Yeah,
not the Cleveland Indians. The Cleveland Indians baseball team.
Is it the Indians? Oh,
yeah.
okay,
and they changed their name to the Guardians. Yeah, and he wants them to go back to the Cleveland Indians. And I'm like, they weren't Indians. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. And even the logo, it was like a red face.
Yeah, it was an actual, with a feather.
Yeah. To me, it's the same as someone calling the New York Jets the New York Blackfaces, and then their logo is somebody with a charcoal blackface with the big red lips and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, it's the same thing, but they don't see it like that. And it just speaks to the level of disrespect.
I agree. It just sucks because what if they do change their name back to the Redskins?
I don't think they're going to change their name.
That means they're not getting a new stadium, and I'm pretty sure they're in need of one.
That means they're not going to they're not in need of it. That means they're not going to get a new stadium in Washington, D.C. Now, the
whole
Washington
thing
Commanders
is to revamp the team and actually have them play in the city in which they are representing.
Yeah, but a lot of teams don't play in the city that they represent. Look at the New York Giants and Jets. I
understand
they play in Jersey.
But you don't want to keep following that protocol. You want to be we play for Washington, D.C. We have a stadium inside of Washington, D.C. I get that. But the thing is, if they change their name back to the Redskins, I don't know what it would do for that team.
It doesn't do anything. Because there's a lot of people that will appeases a certain section of
there's
society.
A lot of people who would be disgusted by that move. And probably they would lose a lot of money and a lot of fans behind it. I think there's a lot of collateral damage if they decide to put their name back to the Redskins. So they just have to be careful on the decisions that they make.
the NFL just got out of a controversy with the
Yeah.
with the whole kneeling thing, and
Yeah.
they had lost a lot of
They lost a lot of
fans,
money.
money.
A lot of people still don't watch the NFL because of it.
Right. So I'm pretty sure that they're not too eager to get involved in another controversy like this,
because that would be very controversial.
Because we'd be looking at the NFL as a whole and saying, you're going to let the president dictate what you name your teams, you know? So, and I think as billionaires, they have a certain level of pride.
And I think Magic Johnson is one of the owners of the Washington Commanders.
The Washington Commanders, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he's saying, no, we're not doing that.
But he's not a majority owner. So
he's a minority, but I'm pretty sure he has a little bit of say.
He has a little bit of say. He has more say than you and I.
Exactly.
But ultimately, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think it's gonna change. I don't think the name is gonna change. I just think.
And that team, from a sports standpoint, they have a lot of upside, right, with Jalen Daniels, and I think they just got Deebo Samuel. That team is on the rise.
They
Debo just came from
they
just came from the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
Next stop is the Super Bowl, I feel like they
can
do it.
I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl this year, but that's neither here nor there.
I like Jalen Daniels.
I think I like him too. I think he's pretty good. I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback probably in the next 5 years.
Yeah, he'll be up there with Hurts.
Yeah, he's going to be up there for sure because his game is smooth.
The Giants are going to be
his game is smooth. But I would think that the team wouldn't want to change the name, being that as the Washington Commanders, you've had so much success. I'm like, sports.
Even though it's like 2 years into the new name.
But sports is very, there's a lot of superstition in sports. So, as the Redskins, they've had very little success. They've been the doormat of the league for a long time. So,
well, there's some times where they've gotten far into the playoffs. The NFC East,
I
know you don't really follow the NFC East, but it's really every year is a different team.
The Redskins ain't going nowhere. I think the last time they was in the Commanders, the Washington Commanders, they haven't gone anywhere in a long time. Jaden Daniels coming there is a breath of fresh air for them. It's a fresh start for them. He's your franchise quarterback going forward, and to change the name, you could potentially change the vibes. So I'll just keep everything
the way
as it is.
is.
If I have to operate out of Maryland to be successful, I'll operate out of Maryland to be successful. Because ultimately, if we bring in Super Bowls, that's more money.
Yeah.
Right. So you might be able to make a little more money operating out of Washington D.C.
Yeah.
But
but it looks like there's certain government stipulations that go along with green lighting certain things.
Yeah, because it's the city council and bodies of that nature, government bodies of that nature that ultimately
it looks like the White House has to be involved as well, because it looks like he has to sign off on a few things
in D.C. Well, I don't know, because they're trying to. The article I read was they're not sure if he even has the power to veto it, but I think he has a lot of influence, especially in that town. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's where he lives.
Yeah, so he speaks to somebody, he can have the deal just annexed. He could have the deal cut like that, depending on who he has sway with. Mm-hmm. So, his words aren't completely empty.
Yeah, but it's just sad that he's out here collecting money from a lot of companies. He got it from Paramount, he got it from, I think, Columbia and a few others.
But you know what? Everybody was kind of upset with Paramount about that whole thing with Stephen Colbert. But you seen what South Park is doing to him? South Park is tearing him up, and he's pissed.
I was watching
they're not going to stop.
I was watching The Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne, who also said he deals a lot with Paramount, and he has for the last 10 years, saying that Paramount paid South Park $3 billion or $1.3 billion
for the streaming rights. Right?
Yeah. Not for streaming rights, for signing with the company and
for duration.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So each year I think they're getting like $300 million. Mm-hmm. So it's like they're getting the last laugh because they get to stick it to Paramount and they get to stick it to Trump. Well, nobody could do anything about it. They're still getting paid their money.
They're not sticking it to Paramount. Paramount agreed wholeheartedly to pay them.
Yeah, but now they're dissing the company on their show.
That's fine. Look,
I can't get into it because I'm a former employee, so I'm not really going to speak too much about that.
That's fine. I don't really think that Paramount is sweating it all that much. Let me tell you, the news cycle is so.
Are you sure?
It's a 24-hour news cycle. In another week, this will be all forgotten. So, let's just keep it in perspective. because we all have our opinions and whatnot about the employees that we work for. But as long as that check clears, that's the most important thing, because we all got lives. Some of us have children and wives that we got to take care of. And you're going to do what you have to do. You don't necessarily have to align with the beliefs of your employer, right? Just as long as they ain't hurting nobody or being a racist to somebody and whatnot. You don't want to be linked to that. But if they ultimately, because that's my thing, they fired, well, they didn't even fire the guy. They just said that they were canceling his show after the next season, right? So they're trying to sell the company. And if they feel that one singular employee could make the whole deal fall apart, I think any business owner is going to make the decision to remove that employee, because ultimately you're trying to get something done, right? You're not going to let one employee, ruin the deal. You're just not going to do that.
Okay.
I feel, and the thing is, you have a lot of employees reacting to something involving an employer, right? So we can, as employees, we can only see things from a certain vantage point, right? As an employer, you're seeing things from a completely different vantage point. You're seeing how everything works in a company. You have more people responsible to you than the employee, right? So we also have to take that into consideration about the responsibility they have to their employees. And to say they can't sell the company, right? Now, Paramount, they want to sell the company. They're not as profitable as they were in the past. Do you think that they'd be able to hold on to their current work population if they are unable to sell it? Do you think that?
I mean, they've been letting them go in increments for years now.
So and if they're doing that, that means that they're trying to stop the bleeding. So you think if they can't get the deal done, how many more jobs are going to get lost? Most of the time when you see these type of mergers and stuff like that, or acquisitions, the people that mostly get axed are the high end execs and stuff like that, right? It's not really so much the auxiliary staff, because you want leaders in there that you can trust that are going to get the job done. So, it's the same thing like when there's a new mayor in New York City, all the friggin' department heads in the city sort of change because he wants his people in there. But the New York City employees, we stay the same. We still work our jobs, right?
We don't know that for sure.
For what?
Not for New York City employees, but for other companies. We don't know how
their
mergers take.
I'm talking.
We don't know who's the casualties in mergers.
Right, but what I'm saying is I'm just giving you another perspective on it. So there's another way to look at it, to try to view it in a different light, because the truth is we are not personally involved in the merger, so we don't know the specific odds and ends and all of that stuff, right? So you have to look at it from multiple viewpoints, right, before you just jump to a conclusion of whether or not what they're doing is right or wrong. Right, because what they could be doing could be to the benefit of thousands of employees that work under them. Don't know that, or it could be completely, completely selfish.
Companies that really try to save their staff, but when push comes to shove and they have to let people go, they let the people go.
Yeah, and anyone would do that. If I own a company and I want it to remain viable, and I have to do cuts and job cuts in order for it to remain viable, that's what I'm going to do, because I created this company to be successful. This company is my family's livelihood, is my family's legacy. As an owner, I want to protect those things, right?
Yeah, so but if you keep laying off people, they're not going to want to come on board.
Right, but if the company isn't viable, I can't keep hiring more people than I can afford. I have to cut. If the company is in a certain state,
and you feel like there's certain positions that are critical, and then when you run the numbers, you find out like, maybe this position wasn't so critical like I thought, and then you cut the person 3 months after they start. Mm-hmm. So it's basically you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You're trying to make decisions to make your company more viable, to put it in your words. Mm-hmm. But in certain situations, when the financials come in, there's certain people that has to get cut, whether it be every 6 months you're doing these layoffs or every 7 months you're doing these layoffs. You think people are going to want to join a company like that?
No, but if the company is in that state, they have to do what they can to get it out of that state and then bring it back to profitability, so that
and things like that is not happening. And how long do you think profitability is going to take?
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen their books.
Sometimes it could take years. And within those years, you're struggling to find people because they see the track record and they hear from other people. Well, I started there 6 months ago and they already laid me off. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, if you're that business owner. But I wanted to get into something a little different. On this show, we've been talking about dating a lot, and we've gotten some feedback and some not so great.
No, we've gotten some great feedback. Y'all keep
some not so great.
Y'all keep getting in those comments and telling us how you really feel.
Don't make me block you.
You won't be blocked.
Don't make me block you.
We appreciate all comments.
Because you will get blocked. Don't listen to him. Let me stop. So
I better be careful before I get fired from this company.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't do layoffs like that. But so I was reading a story. A man proposed to a woman. The man, let me put it in context. He's 32 years old. The young lady was 23 years old. They went on a couple of dates. So in a text message sent to this woman, the man is asking her to reimburse him for some of the dates that they've been on. The woman was taken aback by it, but eventually she gave the man some money and he was like, oh, okay, thank you. Because I guess he broke down the math as to what he spent on each date. And she's just like, okay. And she just gave him some money just so he could just, leave her alone. But then afterward, he was planning the next date. So it's like, I'm wondering if this is like manipulation because this man is 32 years old. I'm pretty sure he's been on a few dates himself. And this young lady's 23. I don't know if he's manipulating her because she's young and thinking that, oh, I guess she'll give me the money if I ask for it. But this type of tactic makes women not want to go into the dating pool because you're a grown ass man. If you can't afford to take me on dates, why are you taking me on a date? Why are you asking me for money after we done been on all these dates? This is why I say the things that I say. If you're not in the financial state if you're not in the financial state to bring a woman on a date, then don't do it. Because this is embarrassing.
I mean, this is embarrassing not for her, but for him.
Exactly. It's embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
And if she ever decided to go on then something's wrong with her.
Right. See, that's my thing with this whole situation that you just laid out. He's looking at it from a completely different perspective than I look at dates at. You go on a date with a woman, you pay for the date. Historically, you should. I think you should, as a man, pay for the date, especially if you ask the woman out. Yeah. You should pay for the date. And you got to understand that, you don't know if you're going to be with this person long term when you take someone out on a date, right? And that's the risk that you take. That doesn't mean that, you ask for your money back if it doesn't work out. It's the same. I have the same thinking when it comes to, you give a gift to a woman, an expensive gift. And then when it doesn't work out, you want the gift back. That's ridiculous because at the point in time when you gave the gift, you felt like she deserved the gift, right? You felt that she earned the gift. You shouldn't be able to take that stuff back. You did it in the spirit. When you did it, in the spirit of when you did it, you felt really good about the decision. People have to understand that when you're dating, most boyfriend and girlfriend relationships don't make it to marriage and last the test of time. You're still, you're dating and you're trying to find your person. Not everybody you meet is going to be your person.
How does this equate to him asking her for his money back?
He can't. I already told you he's dead wrong. He can't ask for his money. I don't think he's grooming her. I don't think he's manipulating her or anything like that. Because ultimately, no one is forcing her to pay the money back. She made a decision to pay the money back. I think she was stupid to pay the money back.
I think it's because she's fairly young.
Yeah,
23.
23. Well, hopefully
23-year-old women. I mean, we're smart, but we're not that smart when it comes to dating because we're still early in the game. If you haven't found the love of your life in like high school.
Well, hopefully, there's other 20-something-year-olds that see this story
And she was very polite about it too. If he asked me for my money, I would block him.
I mean, she probably still blocked him.
And he has the audacity to ask her, when are we going out again?
Yeah, he's crazy because he's basically going out for free. He's like, I would love to go if I find a woman attractive and everything like that, and I come to find out that she's gonna pay her half on every single date. I mean, men and women are gonna get away with what you allow them to get away with. If she's allowing him to get away with,
this is gonna be a never-ending cycle
for dates. He's gonna keep asking to be reimbursed. She could have said
you
no.
remember that chain I bought you, that $450 chain? Well, I'm kind of in a bind. I can't make my rent. Can you give me $200?
Mm-hmm. I mean, well, that's a whole different story.
Can you let me pawn the chain?
Now, if he bought you a chain and everything was sweet, and then a few months later you guys are breaking up and he asked for the chain back, that's one thing. But if a man is on financial hardship out of nowhere, like for unforeseen circumstances, like say he gets laid off by a major company because they're doing budget cuts, right? So now he's asking his significant other for help. I think that's okay to ask for help, because if we're dealing with each other, you should want to help me.
And this is the early stages of dating.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the early stages of dating, I find that very rude to ask somebody for money that you spent on them.
Yeah, you shouldn't ask to be reimbursed. That's ridiculous. That's stupid to me.
And you say that women are the reason why the dating pool is trash.
I mean, well, that's one man.
I'm pretty sure there's other men out here doing the same thing. I'm pretty sure there's men who saw that story like, oh, if she was so easily, intrigued on giving him his money back, maybe I could do it to somebody else. He's setting a precedent.
No, but she set a precedent.
The both of them are setting precedents.
She set a precedent that you could get your money back.
The both of them are.
And the thing is, they went on multiple dates. So it was like the first date was good, the second date was good. He just asked for his money back because he a broke bastard. And you can't. And that's on her that she paid that back.
I guess. So you and I were having a conversation about women sticking around to build their partner up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And I feel like it's on a case by case basis, because I think it depends on the type of man you're dealing with, coming from a woman's perspective, because there's a lot of women who stick around to build their partner up, and when their partner's a finished product, the partner's like, let me find a woman that's now of my caliber, meaning that the woman who was there with him through his rough patches and helping him elevate himself is no longer somebody that's on his level. So he goes and he ventures out to find a woman who he quotes is in his bracket. So I find that women should know or look out for the signs if this man is going to stray once he gets on, before you decide to be that ride or die person.
Well, all right, so
I know it's going to be hard, because what if he doesn't show signs at all, and then it pops up out the blue like, all right, I don't want you anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with this chick because now this is the type of girl I always wanted, and you were just there to help me out. Point blank, period.
I think I just identified the problem with the dating scene right now. And
like you had an epiphany just now?
Yeah, it's like people want to eliminate all risk in dating, and you cannot eliminate risk in dating.
Yeah, but there's people's emotions that gets involved.
Anything worth doing is a little hard. There's a little difficulty in doing it. If everyone could find their special someone so easily, then everybody would be walking around here married.
Yeah, but you don't want to waste your time.
We wouldn't have this discussion. So,
you don't want to be out here wasting your time.
Right. So that leads me to my next point. You shouldn't be trying to figure out what type of dude this guy is.
There's always
2 years or so into the relationship. They're telling you who they are every time you speak to them, right? You can't. I don't care how good of an actor you are. You're gonna break character at some point, right? You can't maintain the lie, right? So my thing is, I would tell women this. Listen to what he says and observe his actions, and that'll tell you everything you need to know.
That's what I was saying
about a man. No, but you just because you want to eliminate risk, you're saying that you don't think that they should help a man.
I said it's a case by case basis.
everything is a case by case basis. But I think
and it's
it's
on
okay.
The person.
I think it's okay if you're dealing with a man who isn't a finished product. Most people, what they say, most men don't start earning their full potential until when they hit their 40s, right? So if you want a finished product, go date a man that's 42. But if you're looking in the dating pool and you're looking for men, ages 20 to 35 or whatever, they might not be exactly where you want them to be. And that's okay, because there's a lot of situations they're still striving and they will eventually get to where they're getting to. You see it with all these celebrities and whatnot. Oh, you weren't with me shooting in the gym or whatnot. There's countless celebrity stories where you'll see like
the person that was with
them when they were dead broke. A lot of these actors, all their stories.
Some of them stay around. That's
stories,
why I said it's a case by case basis, because not every man is like that. You just gotta be.
Not every man is like that.
You just gotta be cognizant. You gotta just look out for the signs.
Yeah, and so you have to be aware.
You have to be aware and make sure this person's not gonna up and leave once they get on.
Right.
And a lot of people will be like, "Oh, it's not me that changes. The person that was with me that changed," because I guess in their mind they feel like, "Oh, they think they're better than me now." And
it might not even be that they think that they're better than you. During the course of a person's life, they change multiple times, because your situation changes depending on a lot of factors. So say you meet me and I'm working part-time at like McDonald's or whatever, the way I view life and things might be a little bit different than
you find the smartest people working at these.
Say now I own McDonald's.
Yeah.
Right. So say I work my way up there and I own McDonald's now. So my view on life and the way I see things is definitely going to change, because I went from an employee to an employer, right? And I went from making no money to making, a lot of money, and now I'm seeing the world in a different light. I'm learning how I want to maintain my money and stuff like that, who I want to spend my money on and all of that stuff. And a lot of the times you might meet somebody and they change so drastically because of the change in their situation, but you haven't changed, right? So now you guys are no longer seeing eye to eye on a lot of things, and that's okay. Like some people, but that's okay.
My point is, so when you see your partner, like from a female's standpoint, and you're helping your partner build and get to the places and reach their aspirations, you got to make sure that you evolve with them as well, so you could stay that one cohesive unit.
I think, because I could say from when I met my wife to now, I've definitely changed in certain areas in the way I see life and my views on things. And she has changed a little bit as well. And you accept those changes. Some people are unwilling to accept changes. I feel like some people are too strict on what they think their significant other should be like. They don't leave room for any wiggle room for change. There's no flexibility. And like I said, there's no way you're gonna eliminate risk. You could be married for 50 years and then turn around and your significant other says, "I don't want to be married no more," right? For whatever reasons. So to go into the dating scene and trying to eliminate
50 years is crazy.
Yeah, but it happens. And to go into the dating scene to try to eliminate all risk is crazy, because human beings by nature are very unpredictable.
I get that, but if you can avoid certain things, you can't avoid it.
Right, and that's the thing,
because you're playing with people's emotions.
Right, but you see a lot of situations too where women will be in a relationship with a guy, and like year at the end of year one or into year two that this wasn't the guy for you, but you look up and you're in the relationship for like 5-7 years, and you should have been cut it, right? So at some point you have to take ownership for your bad decisions and stop blaming the man for it, because he kept telling you over time who he was. You kept allowing the bad behavior, right? And you stuck around for all of his nonsense.
I agree with
you. And then you're
gonna
turn around 5-7 years later talk about he took the best years of your life. Like, no, you took the best years of your life and threw it in the trash.
Sometimes you have to nip stuff in the bud. If you know this is not working for you, don't waste don't waste people's time.
Right.
Because you're blocking their blessings and you're also blocking yours.
Own. Yeah. Agreed.
But back to what I was saying, women, it's a case by case basis on who you decide to stick around and help build up. You just got to look for the signs. I understand what you're saying about you can't eliminate all risks, but if if you see certain things and it makes you double guess or want to rethink everything, then you should take that into consideration.
Yeah. You should also be having conversations with your significant other. Don't look and see something and you think it's a red flag.
Ask them and, okay, so when you do get on, what's your plan? Do you see me in that plan? And if they're hesitant, then you know it's time to go. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Communication is key. You guys should always know. You guys should always know what page you're on. Right.
Yeah. And then that's it. So I want to talk about this polarizing figure who's an ex-NBA All-Star. I'm not gonna. He has a lot of accolades. He likes to think he has more accolades than others, but he does. I think he's a finals champion.
He was an NBA champion.
He was an NBA champion.
He was a finals MVP.
I don't know if he was ever MVP.
Multiple time. He was never MVP of the league. But
he thinks he's better than Dwayne Wade.
He thinks he's better than LeBron James. You know who I'm talking about already.
Paul Pierce.
Yeah, Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce, the one who got fired from ESPN because he was on live with a bunch of strippers.
Smart
he's
man.
A character. He's definitely a character. Mm-hmm. The only thing he's a New York Knicks hater, and sometimes Kevin Garnett, he did play for the Celtics, but he is not a hater of the Knicks as much as Paul Pierce. But anywho, that's me going off on a tangent. I saw a clip of him speaking to a young lady saying that after 30, women are cooked. And their prime is between 25 to 30. And he also said that once a woman is 35, there's no hope for them at all. But then there's another clip that I think you sent me. So we're doing like a versus thing, saying that women who marry after 35 are most likely to stay married. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Paul Pierce had any evidence to back his theory, but I believe the clip that you had sent me had actual statistics that show that women who marry after 35 are more likely to stay married to that person. Mm-hmm. So going back to Paul Pierce and what he said, I don't know why. I don't know where he gets his. He's not even married right now.
Well, you got to understand the type of women that Paul Pierce is attracting.
To.
We all we all fall victim to our own personal observable universe, right? So Paul Pierce being an NBA, a former NBA player, a certain type of woman is gravitating towards him, right? So of course he's gonna look at the pool of women that's coming towards him, and he's gonna assess that, right? So if you're looking at women that all they bring to the table is their looks,
of course you're gonna think at 30 they're cooked because they probably don't have anything going for themselves.
We all know that looks depreciate over time, which is why you always like a wise man looks for a woman.
But look at the 30-year-olds that are out here today. Ain't no 30-year-old out here looking cooked.
They're not looking cooked, but all right. So what'd you call it? If you can get a younger version of what you have already, especially that you don't have an emotional connection with the person that you're with, you're gonna go ahead and do that. I have a nice car. It treats me well. It gets me from A to B, but it's a 2018. I want to get a 2025. I want to get something more current. The car did nothing wrong. The car is still running fine, but I would like a younger, more current model. See, when you look at men like that and how they see women, how they view women, their logic makes sense. He's not looking for someone to build with. He's looking for someone to lay with.
He's looking for somebody to have on his arm.
Right. So if I'm looking for someone to lay with, then it makes sense that he's always looking for the younger model. Like you age out of his preference. But there's plenty of like 35-year-old women, gorgeous 35-year-old women, that to look at them you wouldn't think that they're past their prime.
Yeah,
right?
You wouldn't even think that they're 35.
Right. So, I think his thinking is flawed, but it's flawed because of the way. Because of his perceivable universe.
He's had for the last 20 years of his life. And he's always had young women between that age range going at him.
My thing is, Paul Pierce is what? He's like in his 40s now.
He's got to be in his 40s now, yeah.
And he's not married.
He was, I think he was married, and then he probably.
Well, Google that.
Yeah. His ex-wife, her name is Julie, and they were married from 2010 to 2023.
Okay, so he was married for 13 years. So maybe some of that, maybe some of what happened in that marriage jaded him. You know, but yeah, I think
and his ex-wife is pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's an
NBA player.
I'm pretty sure.
Sometimes I wonder why these things fail.
The marriages fail because the woman probably, was tired of dealing with whatever she was dealing with, and she was like, you know what, I'm not leaving here with nothing either. Yeah. So she's like, I'm not going out into the wilderness and unable to take care of myself. He's gonna take care of me.
And I think the women who get married at 35 and stay married for the test of time, they know what they want.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
They know what they want, and I'm pretty sure the man that they marry knows what they want as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's no time to be playing games. We're already close to 40. Might as well just... And I'm not saying that they settle. They probably just find what they want, and then that's that.
At some point, they're not going to be settling because I feel that this is becoming the norm. More and more women are focusing on career before marriage.
Women don't want to settle. Right, they want what they want.
Right. And
as for the men, we don't know.
Right. But you also have to understand that if you wait till 35...
They marry who's in front of them right now. In their face at that time when they're ready.
If you wait till 35, you run the risk of your pool of men available to you being a lot smaller, and so you might not get exactly what you want. So you have to take that into consideration. But I think
they're gonna get a silver fox.
But I think that's gonna be the norm with people getting married at later ages. I think that's going to be the norm for Gen Zs and Gen Alpha going forward because society has changed so much. I keep saying it every episode. Women's roles in society have changed, and it's not going backwards.
Yeah.
I think we're going to just keep marching forward into this brave new world.
Yeah.
So.
And there's a larger percentage of women, or a lot more women, who want children. They don't necessarily want a partner or necessarily need a partner in order to raise a child.
Well, that's not good either, because I think that you need a father and a mother, and because the nuclear family is still the best way to raise a child. I think you do a child a disservice when you intentionally go about being a single parent. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I get that. But
yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's what more and more women want, because they don't want the burden of dealing with a relationship that doesn't suit them or doesn't benefit them. And that's my thing. People don't want to take shots no more. People don't want to take chances because people have been scarred.
You can't be successful in anything. People have been scarred.
People want to lead a peaceful life. They don't want somebody to come and corrupt
and
disrupt that.
You can't have peace without war. Okay? So you got to take your shots. You may make 50% of your shots, but you're guaranteed to miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Right? So you got to take your shots. You can't go ahead and live your life based off of one bad experience you had or two bad experiences you had.
I'm pretty sure those people who make that conclusion had more than 3 bad experiences.
You never know what's behind the next door. That's the best thing about life, that tomorrow is completely unpredictable. You don't know who you're going to bump into. You don't know what opportunity is going to fall in your lap. You just don't know. And that's the best thing about it. That's why I look at single people and they stress, and I'm like, you don't understand how good you have it, because you just have this, you just don't know what's going to happen, who you're going to meet. To me, it's always fun meeting new people. So, just live in that, enjoy experiencing new people. Through those experiences, you're finding out who you really are and what you really like and what you're not going to stand for. And that's fine. Because there's going to be certain things that you thought that you would never accept, but because the person is who he or she is, you'll turn around and accept that. Right. So you can't just close all doors because you've had a bad experience or two. Like you're literally blocking your blessings.
Okay.
All right. Hey, take it from me. because I've dated some lemons, but I was ultimately able to make lemonade, right? So you can't,
yeah.
So you can't just look at one or two bad experiences and just give up. You know, just can't do that.
Just protect your peace. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, take a break if you want.
Protect your peace.
You know, hop in there.
And being single is not that bad.
We are living, yeah, single.
Yes, it's not that bad. But thank you for tuning in today. My name is Danielle.
And I'm Noel.
And this is Random Conversations. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yep, we're on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
Yeah, so you can find us on all 3 platforms.
Yeah, and don't forget to comment. And if you see any topics that you like, you want us to talk about or react to, let us know.
Just let us know.
All right.
All right. Bye.